Hello, welcome to Chelsea Daily. The floodlights of Stamford Bridge always shine a little differently when Cole Palmer steps onto the grass. There is a quietness about him, an almost deceptive stillness, as if he is trying to feel the heartbeat of the match before he leaves his own imprint on it. For many players, the pitch is a battlefield. For Palmer, it is a canvas, one he paints with delicate touches, daring moves, and the kind of intelligence that makes even seasoned defenders doubt themselves. The calm before every storm. Before kickoff, Palmer rarely speaks much. He stands slightly apart, hands behind his back, observing everything: the spaces between opposition lines, the body language of defenders, the angles where pressure might come from. What looks like nonchalance is actually calculation. His teammates often say that Palmer is the type of player who visualizes the game ahead of time, almost as if he sees the future unfolding in slow motion. Once the whistle blows, the transformation begins. The calm turns into a controlled fire, never rushed, never frantic, always intentional. He drifts into pockets of space, sometimes disappearing from the game for a few seconds, only to reappear exactly where the opposition least expects him. It's a trademark move now: slip between the midfield and the defensive line, receive under pressure, turn smoothly, accelerate the tempo, and suddenly Chelsea are attacking with purpose, movement, like a chess master. Palmer does not run the way traditional wingers run. He glides. His movement is subtle, silent, and deadly. He often takes small steps instead of large bursts, waiting for the perfect moment to create imbalance. When he receives the ball, his first touch is almost always angled toward danger, not only danger to the opponent, but opportunity for his team. What makes him exceptional is not just the ability to beat a man, but the timing with which he chooses to engage. He can slow a defender with a simple pause, lean his body slightly to the left, then explode to the right with a sudden change of pace. In those moments, he plays the ball and the defender at the same time. It is calculated, elegant, and ruthless. Vision beyond his years. One of Palmer's most stunning qualities is his vision. He sees passing lanes that many players only notice during video analysis. The ball leaves his foot with purpose, sometimes a disguised reverse pass, sometimes a clip ball over the top, sometimes a perfectly timed low-through ball that splits defenders like a knife sliding through warm butter. For Chelsea, he has become the brain between the lines. When he drops deep, he plays like a playmaker. When he drifts wide, he becomes a creator. When he moves into the box, he turns into a cold-blooded finisher. The shape of the team bends around him, and not because he demands the spotlight, but because he naturally gravitates toward the areas where the game needs him most: a finisher, with ice in his veins. In front of goal, Palmer has the calmness of a striker who has seen every situation before. He rarely lashes at the ball. Instead, he caresses it with precision. Whether it is a curled effort into the far corner, a near-post snapshot, or a penalty slotted with elegance, the result is almost always the same. The net ripples and Palmer jogs away casually as if he expected it all along. Defenders often describe him with one word: unpredictable. His body language is unreadable. His shooting technique changes depending on the moment. He can strike with his laces or simply pass the ball into the corner. His composure in high-pressure situations is startling for a player of his age. Leadership through intelligence. Palmer is not a vocal leader, but his leadership is written into his style. When Chelsea's attack begins to slow, he drops deeper to connect play. When the team is struggling to break down low blocks, he floats wide to create overloads. When urgency is required, he carries the ball forward with conviction. Teammates follow his rhythm, not because he demands it, but because the game becomes easier when it flows through him. Palmer has the gift of simplifying the complex, turning tight spaces into pathways and moments of pressure into opportunities for breakthrough. The psychological edge. What truly sets Palmer apart is his self-belief, not arrogance, confidence, the quiet kind, the dangerous kind. He has the attitude of a street footballer raised on small-sided games where creativity wins before strength. Even when surrounded by defenders, he plays as if the ball belongs to him and the pitch is his home. Opponents try to rough him up, press him aggressively, and cut off his angles, but he doesn't panic. He waits, shifts his body slightly, protects the ball, and forces the defender to make the first mistake. He has a patience uncommon in modern forwards, a patience that breaks the mental balance of defenders. How he drives Chelsea forward. Every time Palmer receives the ball, Chelsea's fans lean forward in anticipation. Something is always about to happen. A dribble, a disguised pass, a long switch, a curling effort, a moment of individual brilliance. He brings unpredictability into structure, creativity into discipline. In transition, he is lethal. His first touch often sends him forward into open space, and his second touch sets up a teammate or opens the angle for a shot. The way he lifts his head before taking the third touch almost always signals danger. Inside the final third, he becomes even more influential. He plays with instinct and artistry, but also with the maturity of a veteran. He reads defensive lines like pages in a book, waiting for the precise moment to turn a turning point into a goal. The making of a modern icon, Palmer is more than a talented young star. He is becoming the heartbeat of Chelsea's new identity. Fans adore him not just for his goals and assists, but for the way he plays the game, with elegance, intelligence, fearlessness, and a certain swagger that modern football rarely produces anymore. He is the kind of player who can shift the momentum of a match with a single gesture, a feint, a pass, a touch, a moment of pure imagination. Every time he steps onto the pitch, he carries a calm assassin's aura, quiet, sharp, deadly. And as his star continues to rise, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Chelsea are building their future around Cole Palmer, the player who turns pressure into poetry and football into art. Another news. There is a moment before every match when the stadium noise fades, not because the fans go quiet, but because Cole Palmer enters a different world. As he steps onto the pitch, he shuts out everything except the ball at his feet, the shape of the opposition, and the endless possibilities the game is about to give him. For Palmer, football is not chaos. It is order, a puzzle, a place where his mind works faster than the feet chasing him. A player who moves like time slows down. Everyone sees the same pitch, but not everyone sees the same game. Palmer plays as if he has an extra second that no one else has. When defenders sprint at him with full aggression, he remains still, calm, patient, almost curious. Then in one smooth motion, he shifts his body, slips the ball through the smallest gap, and walks away as the defender slides into empty space. It is this strange mixture of composure and explosiveness that makes him special. He is not loud, not flashy, not frantic, yet he is devastating. His touches are short, his dribbles are measured, and his choices are almost always the correct ones. He is the kind of player who reminds fans that intelligence can be just as destructive as speed. The maestro of the half spaces, Palmer's greatest weapon is not his footwork, it is his understanding of positioning. He floats between the lines like a shadow. One moment he is behind the midfield, the next he appears near the penalty box, receiving the ball in a dangerous pocket of space. Defenders lose sight of him not because he moves quickly, but because he moves smartly. Every time he receives the ball, he already knows three options: the quick pass to accelerate the attack, the disguised through ball that cuts open the back line, or the decisive shot he bends with effortless confidence. And the terrifying thing for opponents is that he chooses the right option almost every time. The cold-blooded finisher. When Palmer enters the box, he transforms from a playmaker into a predator. He becomes one of the calmest finishers in the Premier League. No panic, no hesitation, just precision. When the goalkeeper expects power, Palmer gives finesse. When defenders close the near post, he curls the ball to the far one. When the pressure is at its highest, he becomes even colder. His penalties are a perfect example. He waits, watches the keeper, and places the ball with ridiculous confidence. It is artistry disguised as simplicity. A silent leader with a sharp football brain. Palmer does not shout instructions, but teammates follow him naturally. His presence on the pitch demands attention. When the team struggles to build play, he drops deeper. When they need a spark in the final third, he drifts forward. When the rhythm slows, he increases the tempo with one touch or one clever run. He leads through action, through vision, not volume, through understanding, not ego. The street footballer who never lost his magic. Thank you for watching.